Hello everybody and welcome back to the Tabletop Temple, where we paint, we play, and we pray to the dice gods. Today's video is going to be me continuing the Grimcoven paint series, and today I decided to paint the Chimera. And to get things started off, I am painting the lizard thing that's on here, Achelian green. I've decided to go with this color because, well, I've used Achelian green for a lot of dragon scales in my day and time as a painter, and I think this makes no exception to use it. So, Achelian green from Citadel, that's the color I decided to use. The only thing I would look out for is to look really good for his hind legs on the rear of the model, because they can be a little tough to spot. I actually thought it was part of the Centipede. Next color to throw on to the lizard is going to be Bony matter for his claws. And again, the one on the hind leg could be a little tough to spot, but they're there and they're showing, I promise. The other one is going to be on his front leg, where he's gripping onto this tree branch right here. You can also use the Bony matter for his teeth as well on this step. It just kind of makes his teeth look very dirty, like he's bitten into the fleshy things in his lifetime. Once the Bony matter dries on his teeth, you want to hit his gums with some Citadel's Flesh Terrors red. It really brings about that very gorish kind of look that you can kind of see in some miniatures, and I really think it's a very vibrant red, especially when you use it on mouths and cheeks and gums and stuff like that. So that's the color I decided to go with. Now, I didn't want the tongue to be the same color as his gums, so I decided to use Familiar Pink from the Army Painter for that. It's just a very nice pink that matches the Flesh Terrors red. And right here I've also painted his eyes a Mephiston red, but you can use any red that you want to. That's just the color I decided to go with. Now that the lizard is done, the next part of the Chimera you want to paint is the Centipede. And let me tell you, this thing is absolutely all over the model, so I had to really think about the look I wanted to go for. But the first color I decided to slap on was Bony matter, and this is gonna be for his little horns as well as his entire underside of the Centipede's body. You just want to look really good for the Centipede's body, because he's not only sticking out in the rear, but he's underneath the lizard and the eagle, and he is also sticking out in the front as well. So it can be a little tough to spot and very blended in, but just do the best you can on finding his underside. Just look for little bitty bug legs and things like that, and that's what you want to hit with, again, is Bony matter from Army Painter. Now this next part is going to be very interesting to explain, because you're going to need 3 colors. You're going to need Nasdrag Yellow, Fire Giant Orange, and Grim Black from Army Painter, and the Nasdrag Yellow is from Citadel. I'm going to show you how to wet blend and to paint the very top of the shell. So what you want to do, and this is a very easy way to do it, you want to coat the entire section of a shell in the Nasdrag Yellow, and you want to get about a third of each section of shell in the Fire Giant Orange and the Grim Black. So the key trick, you want to do it while the paint is still wet. It creates this really cool otherworldly bug shell kind of look, and I think it's not only really cool to look at, but it's very appealing to the eye and makes it look like an actual centipede is really there. The key takeaway of wet blending would be that you want to make sure the paint is still wet, obviously, and you also want to make sure that your brush is not overloaded, because one color will overpower the other. And now that the centipede is done, the next color I'm going to be throwing on is going to be for the eagle, and I am going with Satchel Brown because I think this brown is going to be a nice color that goes well with the Achelian green and the colors I've chosen for the centipede. And once you're done with the eagle, the next color I'm throwing on is Citadel's Wildwood, and you want to thin this one down with just a little bit of water so that brown can really shine through and not be too dark to where you can't really make out that it is a brown. But this color is for the tree branch that these guys are completely wrapped around. Now going back to Satchel Brown, I am painting the underside of this little grassy tree stump that they are standing on. You could also go with Wildwood from Citadel as well, but Satchel Brown is just the color I've decided to go with. So it's really just a pick your poison here. Just try your best to avoid the grass and stones that they're standing on, because that color I'm going to go with is Warp Lightning from Citadel. Most people use, at least that I've seen, most people like to use Gunner Green camo for grass, but I like using Warp Lightning because it's just dark enough and just bright enough, quite frankly, at the exact same time. So that's the color I decided to use for the little bits of grass that is on. I'm guessing it's probably a tree stump, maybe, the more I think about it, but either way it goes, it just makes the model look really cool and nice. And a final step would be to catch all the stones that are on the base with the color I always like to recommend, and that is Gravelord Gray for that cool stone look. I also want to apologize because I forgot to record myself painting the beak and the mouth of the eagle, but hit it with some Nasdrag Yellow, his eyes red, and his tongue the same familiar pink as the lizard. But that, my friends, is how you paint the Chimera from Awakened Realms' Grimcoven. If you liked today's video, please drop a like on it, leave a comment on what you think, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. But as always, I am your friendly neighborhood guru, guys, and I will see you on the next Tabletop Temple. Goodbye, my friends.